Hey, hi, hello. It's the LaSala show. How say you? The Green Bay Packers are still mathematically alive in the playoffs, meaning Aaron Rodgers will play against the Los Angeles Rams next week. We are on a bye week that we probably should have taken after the London game in which Aaron Rodgers broke his thumb. My oh my, how the season may have totally changed if we had done so. We had the opportunity, we had the option to do so, and coming off of back-to-back 13-win seasons, I'm sure no one in the Packer organization thought that we would need a bye so early. So, by not having that bye, we went on a terrible losing streak. And here we are now. Delaying the inevitable, which is trying to get Jordan Love, backup quarterback, potential future starter, potential trade piece, potential player who requests a trade. It's all in the mix. And then we're dealing with Rodgers, who may or may not come back next season. So a lot of things to consider. Usually when a team is down and out, as the Packers are this year, it would be a simple plan, and that would be to bench Aaron Rodgers and let Jordan Love face some real competition. But GM Brian Gutekunst, Goody, as they call him, he has stated that he wants Rodgers back. Matt LaFleur, head coach, wants Rodgers back. Rodgers, on the Pat McAfee show, stated he would like to come back if it was a mutual decision. Very cryptic, very complicated fella, this Rodgers. So at this point, I think the odds of the Packers making the playoffs are like 5%. A lot of things have to go wrong for a lot of teams, coupled with the Packers winning every single game left on their schedule. I personally do not think they're going to make the playoffs, and I'm okay with that. However, I don't want to see them lose ever. Last week against the Bears, in which I told you, if you listened to last week's episode, that beating Mike McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys, coupled with going to Chicago and still owning the Bears in a game in which they were down, I want to say, at least 10 points. That was Aaron Rodgers' Super Bowl. Those two games. Those were the two games on his schedule that no matter what, he had to win. And God damn it, he did it. Now, moving forward, he said things like, hey, until we're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, I would like to play. But I will have no ill will or bitterness if they want to sit me and let Jordan Love run the offense. All very politically correct things to say. But deep down, as he's been witness to, coming up behind Brett Favre in a situation where he had to sit for multiple years, I don't think he wants to sit and watch Jordan Love execute the offense that ultimately Matt LaFleur really wants to run. And I'm not saying that Rodgers isn't running the offense the way that LaFleur wants it to be run. I'm saying maybe Jordan Love would execute it better. Obviously, Rodgers is 4-time MVP, just automatic Hall of Famer. So it's a really tough situation that the Packers are in. I'm just very happy that this is a bye week. All I have to worry about are my bets, and none of them will have to involve the Green Bay Packers. Last week, 11-3-1. Yes, we had our second tie of the season. Washington and the New York Giants. It looked like neither of them wanted to win. And I mean, I guess you could always say that when it comes to a tie. But God damn it, I'm trying to think. Yeah, the Jacksonville game, I really thought Jacksonville would win. Atlanta, I thought Atlanta would win at home. And I don't know what I was thinking picking New England to beat Buffalo. So those are my three losses. All in all, I came out 10,000 on top. We live to bet another week. Week 14. The Thursday night game. All right. Las Vegas at the Los Angeles Rams, who had just picked up off the street Baker Mayfield, who was previously with the Browns, played a few games for the Carolina Panthers, wasn't clicking, got his head coach fired. He orchestrated a release from the Panthers. And then it comes out that, in fact, he had some sort of a cup of coffee with head coach of the Rams, Sean McVay, somewhere around his pro day before he was even drafted. And they got along great. So what do the ESPN shows do? They focus solely on the fact of how remarkable it is that Baker Mayfield flew in on a plane with the confidence that the Rams were just going to pick him up, and the Rams don't have any draft picks, so they have nothing to lose for, right? And Sean McVay is a very proud man, and so the narrative was, oh my God, how amazing that Baker Mayfield came in after only practicing, 20 snaps with the offense and then orchestrating a 98-yard drive to win the game. Baker Mayfield, oh my God. No. No one wants to talk about how terrible the Raiders are. You lose to Jeff Saturday a week out of being an ESPN analyst and just stepping in. You lose to him, and then you lose to a forgotten quarterback with only a week's preparation in a game that you are winning. I think it was like 16-3 at one point. My favorite moment from that game is watching the punter from the Raiders coffin kick right down to the 2-yard line, right? So they down it at the Rams' own 2-yard line. And all the Raiders players are doing the gritty, right? That's what the kids are doing these days, guys. They're doing the gritty. Look it up. And so they think they have the Rams beaten. And Baker Mayfield walks his way down, scores the game-tying touchdown. You got to figure the extra point these days are a little harder. But in fact, the Raiders blew it. The Rams did not really win it. And there are those games every season. Shit, the Packers had a few of them where we were up and just kind of went on to sleep mode. So I'm not as impressed with the whole Baker Mayfield buzz. Like, oh, the Rams have found their new quarterback. I feel like Sean McVay mortgaged the future by trading away all this draft capital just to win one Super Bowl. And he's openly talked about how he has a family, he's young, he might want to do TV analyst work. So yeah, if I was him and I realized I didn't have any draft picks for the next 3 years and all my best players are basically gone very soon, yeah, it's like you commit a crime and you just casually walk away, wipe your hands free, but you got that Super Bowl ring. And for Baker Mayfield, this is simply an audition for where he'll be playing next year. Tomorrow's games, your today or yesterday, here are the picks. Minnesota at Detroit. Detroit is somehow favored. This gets me a little worrisome because obviously Minnesota has the better record. A lot of their wins have come very close. They have a rabbit foot up their ass. And they're in Detroit. And Detroit is favored. If Minnesota was favored, maybe I would take Detroit. I don't know. I'm taking Minnesota. Fuck me. New York Jets at Buffalo. I'm taking Buffalo. Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Lamar Jackson is out. They have Tyler Huntley, who nearly beat the Packers last year. I think he's a serviceable backup. But in Pittsburgh, I'm still taking Baltimore. Philadelphia at the New York Giants. Philadelphia. I think the Giants are just as fraudulent as the Vikings. And Philadelphia, until they show me a really shit game, I'm just going to keep picking them. Cleveland at Cincinnati. Cincinnati is starting to wake up. The offensive line is playing better. Joe Burrow has that Joe Cool look about him. They got Jamar Chase back. I don't know if you watched the Browns last week, but Deshaun Watson. I was thinking about Deshaun jacks off. Little massage humor. But he looked like he hadn't played in a long time because he hasn't played in a long time. Now, the Browns always play the Bengals pretty close. So while I'm picking Cincinnati to win, I think the Browns cover the 5.5 points. Jacksonville at Tennessee. Tennessee, I think, has lost 2 straight. I think Tennessee gets it done. Houston at Dallas. The largest spread so far this year. They have Dallas favored by 17.5 points. I think Dallas wins, but not by 17.5. Kansas City at Denver. Denver is a dumpster fire. Kansas City will win. I don't know if they'll cover the 9.5. Because their offense is sort of like, it'll keep you in games. You know, so this could be their... Denver has a really good defense. I think there was a stat. It was like, if only Denver had scored 18 points, or averaged 18 points all season, they'd be like 9-1. It just makes me so happy that Russell Wilson is doing so poorly. I mean, look, I know a lot of people hate Aaron Rodgers, and it's all for different reasons. Y'all don't know him like I do, okay? He's a good guy. He's a smart guy. Russell Wilson is a fucking alien. He's not even a real human being. Subway even removed his commercials because of how bad he's playing and how terrible commercial it was. Go look at any of his press conferences. He looks fucking nuts. And I hope he dies. Carolina at Seattle. This one's interesting because I think Seattle is coming a little bit back down to earth. Now, it is in Seattle. And Carolina's not great. But for some reason, I want to take Carolina. I love Geno Smith. I love his redemption story. And now that Russell Wilson isn't the quarterback for the Seahawks, I don't hate them as much. I'm going to take Seattle to win, but I think Carolina covers. Tampa Bay, the Tampa Brady's at San Francisco, which I'm sure Tom Brady wished, like, in a perfect world for him, one, he stays with Bridget Moynihan. 2, he goes to Miami and pairs up with Sean Payton like it was all planned. But then the NFL investigation got involved and that didn't work out. Look it up. Tampa Bay at San Francisco. So I think he wishes he was the quarterback of the 49ers, the team that he grew up loving. I think San Francisco wins, even with backup quarterback Brock Purdy, who was taken absolutely last in this past year's draft. They call that Mr. Irrelevant, which I find very condescending. I mean, if you get drafted in the NFL, I think that's pretty relevant. To be the last person drafted, well, I'm rooting for Brock Purdy. Let's just say that. And I think the 49ers win. Sunday Night Football. Miami at the Los Angeles Chargers. This is one of those weird games where, of course, Miami's going to win. The Chargers are playing terribly. For some reason, I feel like the Chargers win this one. And then Monday Night Football, we have New England at the Arizona Cardinals. I'm picking the Cardinals. Again, doesn't make any sense, but this whole NFL season has not made any sense. So now I'm zagging when I should be zigging. Take it or leave it. I don't give a fuck. All right, we've got next week, we got a couple guests lined up. Real actual podcast. If you didn't watch the last episode with my uncle, go check that out. And like, rate, subscribe, do all that shit on YouTube. And until next time, don't die.